Good morning, bedheads. Click. Lucy's saying good morning too. Good morning, Luce. Good morning. Love wins. Is that not love right there? I hope you're doing well. This is Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I guess Lucy's joining me this morning. You have other things to say? Yes, you do. Okay, we got a lot to talk about today. Okay. Thank you, Luce. She talks because I'm talking. Um, so hi, 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 hi. I mean, let's just take a moment. We'll just take a moment. She has something to say. Are you all done? She's all done. Okay. So I've got a lot to talk about today. I've got something that just freaking cracks me up that Vena said yesterday on my near-death experience from A to Z. I'm still laughing because I just went in and watched it again because I needed to get the details. I'm giving her full credit for bringing this to. If you don't know who Vena is, I will list her video below, or yeah, her channel below. You guys have to watch her. She's amazing. She did a call out to me too to thank me for. I heard that, Vena. I don't think she watches my channel, but she does. She said she doesn't watch anything on YouTube, which I totally get. I never used to either. So, anyways, I'm going to show you my new journals that finally arrived. They're so freaking cute. I'm just personally super excited to use them. Um, but I'm going to tell you how I'm using them and what's inside, and more specifically in the newsletter. If you sign up right there, there's the QR code right there, or the link in the description. So I'm going to actually tell people what's in there so you don't have to get the journal. Because I know a lot of people are on limited budget, but then you can at least use the same kind of format if you want to. Okay. And it's really going to take us to the 30-day challenge that I hope we're going to start on the 15th. It will just completely depend on when Amazon, and yes, we are going through Amazon. It's, the most reasonable right now, and it's a KDB printer. So, it's a printing service. So, anyways, it depends on when those are approved. Hopefully they'll be approved faster than they say they're going to be approved. So we might have to bump up the challenge to June 1st. But in the meantime, you can do exactly what I'm going to be doing anyways without the challenge. So, okay, so I'm going to talk about that. I got a skin update, which will lead me to a metal clearing. I want to talk about a clearing and what I'm going to do on the public channel today. That might be interesting for a lot of people. It has to do with heavy metals. And then I want to look at some of the notes. I was looking at some of the notes from Pendulum messages and some of the Oracle messages we got, and there's some reminders in there I want to give us. And then I do have a message from our spirit teams today, like I always do during Coffee with Karen. And we are going to be using, this is the deck they wanted me to draw a message for today. Wisdom of the Oracles. Now, I know somebody had asked for timestamps. We're not doing those right now. It's just a matter of time, how much time we have. We've got 4 people working on this channel in this community, and we still don't have time to do timestamps. So that's, I'm telling you, there's a lot to do. Especially because I keep coming up with new ideas all the time. And my sister and I are like, we got to slow it down. Now that the journals are done, the next thing we're formatting our community business directory. In a way, I decided not just to have it in a spreadsheet, which is what I told them initially I would do, but I want it to be a really nice, we might as well just do it nice from the beginning. So it'll just be like another week or 2 before we get that done. So that is the project on the table now. Now that we're waiting for the journals to be approved. So, why did I start talking about that? Oh, projects. Yeah. Oh, somebody had asked for timestamps. If you don't want to listen to all of my other stuff and you just want to go to the message, all you got to do is just go like that. And you'll see when I hold up that, the sticky note. I do that all the time with people's videos. You can tell, like, it depends, like, especially if people do Pendulum or something, you can buzz through and see, that's fine. You're going to miss a lot of good stuff along the way, I think. So, But cheers. This mug came from someone in the community from a thrift shop. How beautiful is that? Oh my gosh. Click. Love wins, always. We're going to focus on love as much as possible on this in this community. Okay, so speaking of love, some of you are going to be not like this, but I think it is. Oh my God. I was at the gym yesterday when I was watching Venia, and if I had had water in my mouth or something, I would have probably spit it all over. That is how much I just burst out when she shared this. Okay, so some of you will have heard this if you listened to Venia yesterday. But, which by the way, again, if you guys, I am into sending people to other channels, which most people probably wouldn't do. But my whole goal here is for everybody to find peace in their hearts, and however you find that. If you don't find that here with me, if you can find it with Venia, then that's amazing. I find her to be extremely helpful for me right now. So if you haven't checked her out, please do. And I love how she is actually one of the things she's been doing recently. And this, I'm going to start doing this too. And this comes from her too. Is she is encouraging her audience, her community, to like and subscribe to videos, not just hers. That's not what she's even asking, but to like and subscribe to videos of people who you want to make sure their voice is heard right now. Because if, the more you like, let's just say, and I would love it if you liked and subscribed to this channel. If you don't like this video, like say you like it, you're like, okay, I'm digging this. I'm with you. If you don't like it, like give it a thumbs up, you're not helping it go out to other people who also might like it. And so what Venia is trying to do is say to you all, if you are watching any progressive media or anyone who's talking about something that is helpful for you, the more you like it, and sometimes you just forget. I like every video because I know how helpful it is. So anyways, you're helping anything that you find helpful. If you give it a like and a subscribe, many of you are probably not even subscribed to my channel, even though you're watching on a regular basis. One, because you probably think you are, or because it pops up in your algorithm, or, you just forget or whatever. But it really does, if you want to help spread the message of the things that you're finding helpful, to hit that like and subscribe for those channels. And of course, mine too would be amazing. But like when you go visit Venia, if you like that, then like and subscribe so her messaging can get out there further. Okay. And especially with progressive media. Okay. So anyways, Venia shared a story. Okay. Again, some of you are not going to find this funny, but I'm sorry. This is my sense of humor and obviously hers too. So it's probably why I connect with her so much. But anyways, Jack Graham on X, he had written, Jack Graham is from the Billy Graham family, the evangelicals. Okay. So I don't know. Jack is like a grandson probably of Billy. I think it's Billy Frank. I think it's Frank. And then I don't know who Jack is. But anyways, so Jack put on X that we should pray for our president today. Okay. So there was a prayer about Trump, okay? Pray for our president, all right? Which, frankly, I get. Like, I'm just going to tell you the punchline and then we'll talk about, Anyway, so somebody wrote, and I think she said it was like a comedian. This person wrote back in Jack Graham's comments, okay, may the gates of hell open and swallow this administration whole. In Christ's name. Amen. Well, yes, for prayers. May the gates of hell open and swallow this administration whole. Oh my God. I laughed so loud. I did not expect that. It's just funny. It's just funny. I know some of you aren't going to find that funny. I think it's freaking hilarious because it's the dichotomy of it. It's like here, it's just that, let's just say Jack Graham, and this is entertainment purposes only because I don't know, I don't follow him at all. If he's not acknowledging that there's pain in the world, that Trump is causing pain in the world, then this is a very funny response. He's not acknowledging that. Like, at least acknowledge, maybe part of his prayer could be, the prayer for President Trump, which I agree. I think it's fine to pray for President Trump, but maybe pray for him to actually have love in his heart, to stop doing the shenanigans, right? So if Jack Graham would do that, if he would actually say those things, then maybe he wouldn't get the response that made, okay, I'll pray for may the gates of hell open and swallow the administration whole, So that's the issue with I think, Jack Graham, It's like, well, he's hurting a lot of people, and it's only just beginning. So maybe we could pray for that, Jack, maybe? What do you think, Jack? Maybe, Jack, you could actually pray for love to win and love to be built or sent love into President Trump's heart. We could all do that. Let's all do that. To me, I can get on top of that, but just to be like, pray for the support of what he's doing and how he's doing it and how he communicates. No, let's actually pray for him to actually change the way he's communicating, change his approach, change, so that it's coming from love, so that we can actually understand what he's doing, so that maybe he could slow down a little bit and not destroy things in like that, So I get it. Like, I'm always going back to the bigger picture, like things are happening because they need to happen this way. But I'm just saying, like, if Jack wants me to feel good about his prayer and not send him open up the gates of hell, then maybe he could ask for those things. I mean, it's just basically because what it feels like to me when Jack writes that prayer is that he's condoning his approach, And I have a very hard time believing that that's appropriate for someone as a spiritual leader, But anyways, okay. What did somebody just say to me? The other thing too, I'm really watching in myself, and I will continue to communicate this in the community here because I think it's really important. I think this, what I'm going to say now, gets in the way of love winning. So I just responded, and I'm going to talk to my sister about this because I think what I want to do for now on for people who write unkind things in our comments to approach it similar to how I just approached it, because I want people to start, at least if you're going to write an unkind comment, you're going to get a comment back to make you think about your own behavior. Okay. So somebody had just said, literally said, how dare you talk to Pope Francis, who did not, basically, I just read the comment so fast, but I saw, how dare you? And then it was like, apparently he condoned psychics, So then he or she told me to wake up. And so then I said something to the effect of, how dare you? No, I didn't say how dare you back. But I can be a little sassy. I'm an Aries, so I can be sassy. Some of you have gotten sassy remarks from me. My sister prefers if I don't respond. She does prefer if I don't respond because I'm sorry, but I'm not taking that crap. But, and you shouldn't either. Anyway, so I should have said something to the effect. I know I said like, well, you need to look at your, why don't you spend time looking at your own judgments and wake up, told her to wake up, because that's really what it's about. She didn't need to say that to me just because she feels that way about the Pope. Okay, that doesn't mean that we don't get to explore what else the Pope has to bring, especially in spirit form. I mean, he's in spirit form now. It's like, yeah, well, maybe the Pope with the ego felt that way, but now we're talking to the Pope in spirit form, just like we talked to the Trump's higher self in spirit form. So this is a community that's open to all, which means it's also open to all ideas. Okay. So like we have a mug in our shop that's, all are welcome here, like that, the school teacher who was asked to take down the sign and that became a movement. Well, all are welcome here and all ideas are welcome here. But the ideas need to be presented in a way that people can hear them, that they're presented. I just really want myself and all of us to be going out in the world if you're going to present new perspectives, because new perspectives are amazing. We talked yesterday about how new perspectives are or 2 days ago maybe, what love is. New perspectives are miracles. Those are miracles for us. But if you're sharing new perspectives that comes from fear, okay? And I'm going to keep talking about this because it's so prevalent in comments. If you're going to keep doing that, then you are not spreading love. That comment was not from love, telling me, how dare you, and I'm only bringing that up for us to look at ourselves, okay? Every time I talk about stuff on here, it is to give an example. People take my examples so literally then, and then they're giving me like feedback about it, which is fine. New perspectives are good. So many of us share you guys give me alternate opinions constantly, but so many of you do it with love. It's heard differently, okay? So as we go out in the world, we got to stop that nonsense. So that's what I told her. I said, you stop that nonsense. The way you just responded is nonsense. She could have said it totally different. She could have said, oh, my experience with the Pope is that he didn't support psychics. So I'm dealing with those feelings about that. Okay, I hear that. But that doesn't mean to shame, which is what that person was doing. Why are we shaming each other? That person, obviously she's a light worker because she was, talking about psychics, that apparently the Pope didn't like psychics. I didn't know that, and I don't care. I'm exploring. We were talking to the Pope in spirit form, okay? But why are light workers shaming each other? Why are we doing that? That makes no sense to me. And it's not going to be tolerated here. So, Marcia, Lob, I want to have a standard comment that we send out to anyone who's leaving comments that are rude and judgmental about, spread love, not judgment for now on, because that's just our way of getting messages out there. Okay. All right. Look at these journals, you guys. They turned out so okay. Now you may not like this is my kind of design and I love this so much. It makes me so happy. Look at this. So I didn't design this paper. I bought this paper to be used for, I have a licensing right to use it. There is an artist that I particularly love. Look at my finger. I ripped some skin off of there. There's an artist that I love. She's on Etsy. And anyway, so I like all of this is all. So this one's called Tea Time. This one's called, guess what this, I was going to call it shrooms, but we're calling it mushrooms. Mushrooms. Tea Time. And then this is called Lush Garden. So anyways, so excited. It's really the inside that I'm excited about because I spent quite a bit of time back and forth, using one, making sure I wanted to use it in what it was for the intention. So this is a 30-day journal. Okay. It's for a 30-day challenge, which we're going to have. Again, if you are in the newsletter, if you signed up to have the newsletter, which the QR code is right there, link in the description, then I'm going to actually send this page to you. So you don't have to buy the journal, okay? But you can. I mean, it'd be nice if you did for us. It's amazing. But I honestly, again, it's not about that. I wanted to make sure that I had something I could use. And I thought, well, if I'm designing it, I might as well design it for everybody else. So the part that I'm really excited about is the every day at the end of the challenge. And in fact, I might just have a separate journal, design a separate journal with just this page. So we have 100 pages of just this page, because this page is dearest, highest self. So you journal for a couple pages. Okay. Like I did today. I was checking it out. You journal for a couple pages. Okay. Then at the bottom, it says most important for today. And my most important, what I ended up journaling about, what my aha was clear heavy metals energetically. So that was my aha moment, which is what journaling is amazing for, because you can come up with your guides can download stuff to you. But then you write a letter to yourself. So you can just start doing this today. Okay. No, you write a letter to your higher self and your spirit guides. Okay. And I have a couple different things that I have in the journal that you could check off. Okay. So today I kindly ask for. Then you ask for what you want, and it could be based on what you just journaled about. But okay, so you ask for it. Okay. But then at the very bottom, I have this little sentence right here to remind you. Raise the energy of your request by speaking it aloud. So write it first. So you're literally every day writing a letter to your higher self and your spirit guides. To me, I like doing active stuff rather than just like praying. I mean, it's basically a prayer, I like doing it actively like this, and I've never seen a format like this. There might be. I mean, there's a gazillion things out there. So, but you raise the energy of your request by speaking it aloud and charging it with crystals. So I spoke this aloud today. It has to do with heavy metals, and which was my skin update I wanted to tell you. So I'm going to go now, after I'm done recording. I folded the page, and I'm going to put some crystals on it today. So I think it's just kind of a fun little process. So that is basically what the journal is. It's 30 days. It's like the 30-day challenge where you just, and if you don't do it 30 days in a row, who cares? It's you design your challenge. And the challenge is going to be, I decided you get challenge ideas. Okay. So everybody's going to do their own challenge. So it's not like the whole community is going to be on one challenge, but I'm going to have a format of checking in with the community, 2 or 3 times through the newsletter. So if you want to be in the challenge, you'd have to get the newsletter, because that's how we're going to do polls and stuff like that, to just check in, and then I'll be able to report back how people are doing with the challenge. So that will be the participation part. Okay, so I'm just so excited. I mean, it's just fun. If you're a creative person, when you have an end result of something, it's super fun. So thank you for allowing me to share. So real quick, I wanted to share. So I've been talking, I don't know if you're new here, you'll maybe be like, what the hell? What's all this about? I do have a Start Here playlist right here that would be helpful for folks if you want to hang out in the community a little bit more and find out what's going on here. But so, like last week I said I had asked my higher self to finally I had a rash on my chin. I know I beat a dead horse, right? But this is just an example. But I wanted to follow back on this because I didn't want people because it was weird. I asked my higher self to clear my skin, and the next day, like my sister was here too, it was so bad one day. And then the next day it was like gone. I'm like, what the hell? How is it gone? So, and my sister was here, my husband, they're like, dang, but I want to tell you that it's not cleared up. And I wanted to come back to that story because if you were like, well, I'm going to ask my higher self to help clear, I have a friend who heard my video and she said, hi, Sean. Hi, Sean. It's so cute. She'll text me and she'll go, oh, I heard you were using shampoo or you were using soap on your. So I know she's listening. Hi, Sean. She's such a good friend. Anyway, so Sean was like, oh yeah, I'm going to ask my higher self to help with my shoulder pain. Okay. But I wanted to bring this back because I thought, well, I'm not going to tell you that I asked my higher self and it cleared up my skin and boom, it was done, because that's not fair, right? If it's not done, And it wouldn't be fair to you because then you're thinking, well, why does that work for Karen and doesn't work for me? You know what I mean? So that got me to journaling about the heavy metals. Now, just real quick story. I know that I have had heavy metals in my body, and I know we have naturopaths and homeopathy experts in the community. Love you. I've tried all of that. So I don't know why, but it causes, I think that's why my SGs say that's why I've been breaking out like my whole life, besides hormones. But like this is probably the rash thing. I haven't actually asked them that. Um, but I always, anytime I detox, like, okay, so the last 7 days, we've been eating, I finally am cleaning up my diet. It's been a little while, like 4 or 5 months. I usually am a pretty clean eater, but I haven't been like the 3 or 4 months. And so I finally am cleaning up my diet again. So we've been back to eating salads every day. So every day at lunch, that's the first meal I have is a nice healthy salad. And I've been on the elliptical for the last 5 days, just 30 minutes, just getting the stuff flowing again, and feels really good. But the last couple of days, I've had anxiety. I have had anxiety again, and I'm like, and I just know that there's no reason for me to have anxiety. I mean, I know, I mean that this is like brain anxiety. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. This isn't like anxiety that you feel in your heart or something. I don't even know how to explain it if people know what I'm talking about, because I'm sure there are people who know what I'm talking about. This is like anxiety where I'm just sitting here. I could be meditating and my brain is not right. Like I can just feel it's not right. It's not processing things right. So I'm talking about that. I'm talking about a physical symptom of this metals, and I just know I have heavy metals in my brain. Anyways, part of my journaling was, I never asked if we could clear heavy metals energetically, because I'm telling you, I've tried everything, and frankly, I'm sick of it. Like, I don't even want to detox anymore, because I tried detoxing for an entire year and I had severe anxiety for an entire year. So not doing that again. I'm not doing it again. Anyway, so I wanted to know whether or not, so I know a bunch of you will give me kind feedback, I'm sure, but please write it in a kind way, because we're all on our own path and our own journey, and we've tried, It's funny because the other day when I mentioned my dad, someone said, well, that sounds petty. And I'm like, okay, now. You don't have the history, so why do people write stuff like that? Stop it. Stop it. Maybe it's my counseling background. I don't know, but everybody should have a little counseling background before they comment about anything. Okay, so I'm a little feisty today, aren't I? Yeah, it's because I don't have the anxiety right now. I'm like, I do not like that the last couple days. Ugh, it's an awful feeling. So, yeah, so I asked in my journaling today, I was like, oh, can we do a heavy metal detox energetically? And they said yes. So I am going to do one for the public channel. A lot of the clearings I do for the Spirit Circle that we house in there. It's kind of just a perk for the Spirit Circle members, which is the membership for the channel. But those are like, a lot of very specific clearings. But this one, this heavy metal one, I'm going to bring to the public channel. So I will do that clearing today. And then you could, decide, it'll depend. I'm going to try to do it. I'll ask my SGs, like, should I do it every day for like 10 days or whatever? I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping it can clear energetically, because frankly, if we're moving into the 5D and there's just things we've all been dealing with physically, maybe it's time for us to not have to deal with those things physically. I think it's fine for us to start saying, you know what? If you want our help right now to move us to the 5D, which all of the light workers are being asked to do energetically, we're being asked to keep our our vibrations high, to send love out into the world. If that's what we're being asked to do, then they can help us clear up some of the stuff we've been dealing with for a long time. Would you agree? I think so. I mean, come on. We don't need to, like, I've learned the lesson. Whatever lesson I feel like I've learned it. Whatever lesson I needed to learn, I've learned it. And maybe they would disagree, and that's okay. Maybe then the clearing wouldn't be as effective. Then I'll just accept that, if the lesson hasn't been completely learned. But then I can focus on other things besides having a rash on my face. You know what I'm saying? Or Sean can focus on other things besides her shoulder pain, you know? So then she can focus on, love and light, right? But if she has to go to PT all the time and focus, and that's where her energy is going, then it's hard for her to send love and light out into the world, right? And so, yes, I think we can start to expect those things. Okay, so let's just go over a couple messages here. I thought these were helpful. These are pendulum messages, and then we'll get to the pendulum message for today. But I was looking in March, actually, at some messages, and these are just some where I was looking at them for reminders for me. So on March 3rd, they said that our energy that we were giving off on March 3rd was, are we safe? Okay, so that was the energy we were giving off. Still is, right? I think once we see what's going to happen with the reduction in the ports, the reductions of goods coming into the country, I think once we see that, like what the end result of that's going to be, we might be able, at least for me, I might be able to, this seems like the hardest thing because I'm like, what's going to happen? Like he doesn't even know. F45 doesn't even know. Well, I think he does know. That's another whole story. I will do a separate video on that. But, so the energy right now is we're giving off is, are we safe, right? So we did cards that day, which we always do. And the cards that day were notes from the universe. So that was the oracle deck we use. Look at Lucy hanging out the whole time. So cute. So notes from the universe. So this was, I just highlighted a few things that I thought were interesting. So there's only one sure way to mend the fence, heal the wound, or bridge the gap. Send them your finest. Send them your finest. There's only one sure way. That doesn't mean that you have to hang out with those people. It doesn't mean that we don't have boundaries. It just means that we don't want to send fear-based, energy to them, right? So if you struggle with somebody in your life, we struggle with people who are MAGA, right? People who support F45. I do. Many people in this community do. There's only one sure way to mend the fence, heal the wound, or bridge the gap. Send them your finest. At the very least, try not to send them the opposite of that, right? Okay. Then they wrote, I don't think you get it. We celebrate your courage every single day. You are legend. So that's a good message for each of us. I don't think you get it. We celebrate your courage every single day. You are legend. Then there was on the 4th of March, the message was will win, W-I-L-L, win. And I said, who? And they said people. And I said, lose, ? And they spelled out billionaires. Okay. So just as a reminder, this was happening in March. So this is where we're headed. I still believe this is where we're headed. It's just, we thought maybe on March 5th that would happen when the message came on March 4th. But now I'm learning, looking back, especially seeing more patterns, that, of course this would be a multi-month, I don't think multi-year, but multi-month going. And, why did we think it would end like the next day? I think we just wanted it to. I did, you know what I mean? So then the card this was from Inner Effing Peace. Okay, that was the deck they wanted us to use that day. So this, I highlighted this because I really liked this. It's not all about you. Good grief. Do not take it personally. That's my favorite part of that. Good grief. Do not take it personally. So I think it's just a good reminder that even though you would like some relief, I know I do, from all the shenanigans, it's not all about us. We have to let this play out the way it needs to play out. And what we can do is keep processing it together and sending out love and stop judging each other. Stop it. I'm going to bring that up every single day until all light workers stop judging each other. Judgment, and including myself. I'm not discluding myself from that. I'm including myself, which is why I'm bringing it up, because I want to stop it too. Okay, and then on the 7th of March, they said Jack is coming. Remember, there was a bunch of messages about Jack Smith. Okay, so it will be interesting to see when he shows up, if he does. Now, they said Jack is coming. Now, and I said when, and they said March 22nd. So I don't know if something happened on March 22nd that involved Jack. I know he did take on a few cases going on here. It might have happened around March 2nd, 22nd. I don't know. Okay. But when I read Jack is coming, my hope was like, oh, he's going down right away. The gates of hell are opening up and that administration is going to be swallowed whole, you know. Not literally, but figuratively. Okay. So this was the message from March 7th. This card is telling you, what was the card from? Energy Oracle cards. Okay, it was from Energy Oracle cards. This card is telling you to be on the lookout for helpful assistance connected to a woman of wealth or business. And the reason I highlighted that is because I was just listening to somebody yesterday. I don't know her name or her channel, but I found this episode very helpful, and I will post it in the description below. She was saying there will be 3 women who, and it will be interesting to watch. There will be 3 women who play a big role in the administration changing. And I thought that's cool because divine feminine is rising, right? So it's very interesting. I read this morning after I heard her say that last night, and I thought, oh, so this card is telling you to be on the lookout for helpful assistance connected to a woman of wealth or business. I immediately thought of Oprah because it's very sad, but I can't, off the top of my head, she's the only one I can think of, a woman of like a lot of wealth. Or Melissa Gates, she'd be another one. Maybe even Jeff Bezos' ex-husband. Wouldn't that be something? What if it was the 3 of them? Wouldn't it be something if the 3 women that other medium was talking about, I'm not putting myself in the medium category, but the one I'm going to list below, what if the 3 women wouldn't it be amazing if one was Bill Gates' ex-wife, Bezos' ex-wife, and another one? Oh, J.D. Vance's wife. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be really cool. That would be really cool. Let's go, feminine energy. Feminine energy rises. Okay. All right. Here is the message for today. All right. Let's not get sick of them asking us to do inner work now, because that is actually going to be my next journal for myself, and I will have them available for people who want them. But I want to have just a page and then a thing across the top where we would write like what the message is and then journal on that. So that's going to be, again, the journal I'm making for I already made it actually. Okay, so this is the message. And yes, the same woman who wanted the timestamps wanted me to stop covering up the messages. You guys are so funny. Just let me do things the way I want to do it. The reason I cover it up is because I don't want to move from one conversation to the next and distract you. So this is how teachers do it. Yes, this is what they do. Okay, so why are you lost? Why are you lost? So this was a collective message. I always ask right now, in the morning when I get up, I ask for a pendulum message. Yes, I'm working on these too. A pendulum message using a pendulum, okay? And they spell out specific messages for us. Why are you lost? And then I asked, why do you ask? And they said truth. Truth. Okay? So when I ask for the message, it's from your spirit team as well. Okay, it's collective spirit team message for us, for the whole community. Why are you lost? So I'm going to write that in my journal. Why are you lost? And right now I'm going to pick these up real quick and just ask, like, what are they talking about with truth? Okay. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please always protect this community and our channels, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. I also did the law of challenge this morning just to make people feel more comfortable. Hey, you guys, how are you? Good. I've already talked to them this morning, but obviously with the pendulum. Okay, so your message today collectively from, can I just pull in all the spirit teams here, please? Of anyone who's watching this now and in the future. Okay, thank you. Your message today on the pendulum, using the pendulum, was, why are you lost? Why are you lost? Yes. Okay. And then I asked, why do you ask? And you said truth. Yes. Okay. Would you like us each to journal a little bit about why we're each feeling lost? Because it would be different for everybody, right? Okay. And are you you want us to do that because you want us to really understand the truth? Yes. And is ultimately the truth that we're not lost? Is that ultimately the truth you want us to get to? Yes. Okay. So is your goal by asking this question so that ultimately we don't feel lost? Is that where you want us to go with this? Is your goal, well, my goal is to not feel lost as well. Is that your goal, as you would prefer if we didn't feel lost? Yes. Okay. And you would like us to understand the truth of us we're not really lost. Yes. So just hearing this message might be enough for any of you, some of you, to not even have to journal about it. You could just be like, okay, Spirit is telling me the truth is I am not lost. And do you want us to just experience every moment of every day and just go through the experience? Yes. And are you saying that regardless of whatever experience we're having, that is not, you wouldn't consider that being lost? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to think, what can I ask them that they would say no? Are the walls? Oh, okay. You're just going to say no. Okay. There we go. All right. They just decided to tell us no because I asked that. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully that helps give you a little clarification of what the message was. And let me know if you're going to journal on that. You can also journal on a message that they're going to give us from Wisdom of the Elders. Oh my gosh. Just another deck that I love. Love them all. Okay. So if you're new here, I do have a deck. I think I just added 8 more. So I'm probably up to about 60. So then I shuffle and then I check with the SGs and they tell me that this is the deck they want me to use for this particular day and for the message of why you're lost. Okay. So why you're lost or truth. So let's see. Okay, so what other message? So again, just calling on our collective spirit teams. Oops. All right, one just fell out, so I'm going to leave that upside down. Let me just double check and see if that is the message. Is that the card you guys want us to read today? Yeah, a really wide swing. Whoa, all right, okay. Are there any others? No. Okay. All right. So did you guys notice I'm going to start a new series. I don't know how long it'll go, but we'll see how it goes if people like it. But I started a new series of just doing just pendulum and just oracle message from I'm calling it I have it in my my bullet journal actually. Prominent figures, I think I put prominent figures. So we did a pendulum message and from the Pope Francis yesterday. So I also did, I'll post both those videos here and here. So Pope Francis answered all of your questions, and we probably will end up with a part 2 on that because you guys had other questions. But Pope Francis answered a bunch of your questions here. And then I decided, well, during that actually is when I got the idea to do a pendulum message with Pope Francis. And so he gave us 3 messages yesterday, which it sounded just like him. And so I will be writing those down as well, but those are going to be shorter videos. So people who don't want to hang out with me for 50 minutes a day, we'll get a video like that probably from time to time. So, I know you guys are like, get to the card. I'm very chatty today. I know I've been like restructuring time of videos and telling you guys, now we're doing it this way, now we're doing it that way. So I'm going to stop telling you how we're doing it because this is called growth, and we're just trying to figure out for all of us, like the 4 of us who are managing the community and working in the community. It's just, we're just trying to figure out what's best for us. And now we're going into summer and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to stop putting structure on myself so that I could just record when I want to. And, when I'm called to, actually, is really the most important part. And I was thinking, well, because I think the last I told you would be every day at noon, once a day, 7 days a week. And I thought, why am I doing that? I'll just record. You might get I might send out a lot more stuff, which is then I got that idea about the pendulum, just doing the prominent figures pendulum message. So I'm going back to my original, the way I used to do it before we started growing fast. And once you start growing, this is true for any business. And then you start getting more structure. But then sometimes the structure can hinder you. So I want to go back to just following my intuition and recording when it feels right and, what the topics are and stuff. So that's just, again, I'm sharing that as an example. People get irritated, I think, sometimes when I go off on tangents and stuff, but I share that as an example. I'm just being so open about everything I'm doing. Because one, I just want to be as authentic as possible. And I want you to feel like you can be authentic as possible in your life. So I figured if I can show up being authentic and not perfect, like I'm not giving you a presentation, that's why I go off here and there and, that you could also start to feel like you could be more authentic in your life. That's one of my goals anyways. I didn't know it was a goal, but that's what it is. Okay, so here is the message. Oh, so remember, this is about you are lost. Or why are you lost? Why are you lost? And then truth. Okay, so it's a 16. Look at all the women together, you guys. Is that us? And of course, the men in our community as well, because you have feminine energy, just as we have masculine energy. Is that our community? That is amazing. Okay, so it's a 16. That is 7. 1 + 6 is a 7 card. Ceremonial, sacred fire, dedication. Okay. I love that visual for us as a community here. Okay, so 16. Dedication. The third sacred fire is the one that fire keepers use for their ceremonies. It is a spiritual doorway to the spiritual realm so that we can communicate with our relations from the beginning and the end of time. This ceremonial fire is used in all our celebrations, whether a pipe ceremony or a sweat ceremony. Remember, this is wisdom of the elders. When someone dies, we have a sacred fire that burns for 4 days. Regardless of the event, there is a sacred fire. The fire keeper's role of keeping the sacred fire going is important. The kindling and fuel with which you feed the fire has to be the best wood. You must not use damp or old wood. And when you make a prayer for the ceremonial fire, you only say good things. Think good thoughts and feel good emotions. The prayers that you put into the fire connect with the smoke from the tobacco, and those prayers are carried up into the spirit world and to the Creator. As the smoke rises into the air, it carries the prayers higher into the heavens where the eagles soar. We honor the fire itself because it is sacred. It connects us to the sun's sacred fire, as we are one with that first light, and it helps us connect the core of the earth, which created our world and the environment we live in. If you have drawn this card today, you may also be called upon to perform a serious duty that requires dedication and effort. It might also be a reminder to be mindful of your words and actions. Perhaps you may wish to light a campfire or even light a candle and make an offering for your prayers today. Okay, so clearly the message here is you are being called upon, and this is, I think a lot of us know that. A lot of us know that right now, is we are being called upon to perform a serious duty that requires dedication and effort. So at this time, we're all building ourselves up to not take a back seat on what's going on right now. Okay. And I don't think I don't think we can. I don't think we can take a back seat on what's going on right now. But obviously, we have to, you might take a back seat for a week. You might take a back seat for a couple of days. You have to take it back and then go forward, take it back, go forward to rejuvenate, right? We have to allow ourselves to do that. But I don't think overall we can take a back seat right now, which is, I think, why I'm being nudged to keep encouraging all of us to do the inner work. So that, like they're asking us now, why are you lost? Like, discover your truth. Discover your truth, because we need you shining your light bright. Okay? That's kind of what I'm intuiting from that. So what are you getting from that? I love this, though, for our community. Just that symbol. That's awesome. All right. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.